How many setups offered 5 points with something just like this at these key times of the day? And then do the math. If you could just do 1/2 of that, or just 1/4 of that with one mini, it's real easy to see how it's just a matter of time before that thing you call a job no longer is a hindrance to you, because it is a hindrance to you. Where you have your faith chained to their boss's generosity. They're so generous that they make you work those 40 hours, sometimes more, to get that paycheck that Uncle Sam gets the tax before you touch it. And then you come out and find out that everything's much more expensive today. When you have this skill set, folks, I want you to understand what I'm about to say, and I'm going to close this video. When you learn this skill set, it removes fear. It removes fear of missing out. It removes the fear and anxiety of failing. But it also removes the fear of inflation. Because this skill set will always outpace inflation. I don't care if gas is $20 a gallon. I'm going to drive my Corvettes. I have 8-cylinder Corvettes that I absolutely will not leave parked. I will drive them and I will enjoy them. I don't care. Gas can be whatever it wants to be. It's a write-off for me. Okay? I don't care how much food is going to cost. I hope I can continuously find it. But I'm not worried about what my utility bills are going to cost. I don't worry about what things are going to cost. That skill set that you're learning here, it aids in that. It helps in that. Notice I'm not promising you get rich. Notice I haven't said that. Because I don't want you coming to my channel thinking I'm promising you to get rich. But I am promising you a skill set that offers the opportunity to do limitless feats and wonders. And it's only limited by your imagination. How much work are you going to put into it? How much work have you put into it? Who are you allowing to influence you and discourage you, distract you? Are you seeing results? Am I proving this stuff works? Do you feel scammed? Or do you feel energized and thankful that you're part of a community like we have here that's thriving, that's energetic, they're happy, they're uplifted, they encourage one another, and everyone here knows that they're not being taken for a ride. There's no upsell coming. Doesn't that feel good? It frees you up to just concentrate on learning. There's no angle. There's no sales pitch coming. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool? That's like the point is you're in a community that we're all trying to help one another. And all I'm trying to be is the captain of the team and just lead you in the right direction and hopefully avoid the pain and struggles that I went through. Real accounts, real money, real buttons are being pushed. You are going to find that there is a lot of opportunity that you're going to let slip by and not be upset about it. It's going to be one of the most fun experience that you're going to have as a developing and developed student of Price Action Under Me. Is you'll see so many setups, you're like, I could do this trade right now, but I'm not going to. And then walk away from it after it comes to fruition, thinking, I could have done that. And I had the discipline to say no, because I'm not being influenced by fear or greed. And when you're at that level and you're consistent, you have graduated. You are an independent thinker. You have mastered fear and greed. You have operated with a level of discipline that is unknown to majority of traders on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. That day's coming for you. But you got to go through this stuff here to get to it. It's not hiding from you. I'm not making it hard for you. I've literally taught you everything except for money management, which we'll talk about next week. And then you have the complete understanding of what it is you're doing here. And you're just going to do the same thing every day. Some days you'll get it right. Some days you won't. When you get it wrong, you stop. You don't rush to get it back. And you're going to find the next day, sometimes, there it is. What you took as a loss the previous day comes back sometimes with interest. And that's a good feeling when it happens. It's like, well, I don't need to worry about it. Losing trades is like getting a flat tire. It sucks. It costs you a little bit of money and time, delays you from what you're trying to get to and accomplish. But it's just a speed bump. Costs you a little bit of time and money, but it didn't keep you from getting where you're going. It just created a detour, a delay. When I was replenishing the money I blew in those accounts, I had to work a secondary job to get it. And it took a lot to be able to get that money back in there just to do it again. But I didn't lose hope. I was cussing and ranting and raving the whole time I had to do it, wanting to quit the extra job I was working. But I knew, unless I did this, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change unless you put your feet to the ground and say, I'm digging my heels in. I know it's going to be hard. I know I'm going to have pushback. I know it's going to be requiring me to put time into it. When all my friends are out there running around and clubbing and doing this and chasing tail and doing this and doing that and drinking and having fun on the weekends, no, I'm going to be in these charts studying. I'm going to be living my life differently. But they're still going to be out there trying to chase tail, broke as fuck, driving a beater fucking car, and ain't doing shit in their life. And you'll be able to pull down annual fucking salaries on a week. You can't even imagine where you're going to be. You can't even imagine it. Whatever you think is your level of success, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. You have no idea when you strip all these limitations that you put on yourself. You shackle yourself with your own mindset. You do it. This is all I can see myself doing right now. When you start making $100,000 a year, you start thinking to yourself, oh shit, that wasn't all that hard. I thought it was really hard. Well, now I'm going to aim for $500,000. And the attempts that you do that, you get there in less than half the time. And you start thinking, well, shit, they say the first $1 million is the hardest one. I'm about there. Boom, in a couple more months, and then you're there. And you look back and say, $1 million isn't all that much money. And yeah, it took some effort, but it didn't take as much effort as I thought it was going to take. And then you start making $5 million, $10 million. 15 million, 50 million. And I'm talking in numbers none you can fucking comprehend, but it is what it is, folks. It's just math. It's just math. You're compounding the efforts of what you're able to do on the smallest form. And watch it. That's teaching you patience. You don't have that. When you first start, you don't have patience because you're trying to chase the lead dog. Whether it be me, somebody else that's saying they're making money, someone else is doing something on a live stream, someone else is doing signal service, someone else is doing whatever. You're constantly trying to run. When it's better for you in the beginning to learn to sit still, observe. How are you thinking about the marketplace? Do you feel like this insatiable desire that you got to be in there today? Like, come hell or high water, even if you only get 5 handles of the 30 handle run, if you just get a piece of it, at least you got something. You took a bite of the beast that you've been hunting. That's a hyena's approach. I don't trade like a hyena. I'm not out there cackling and making crazy noises and shit, trying to just get a bite of something. I'm out there literally stalking and waiting. And when I see the weak one in the herd, the Judas swing, to see the retail traders thinking that they got something that's easy money for them, if that's 100% diametrically opposed to what I'm anticipating in price, I'm running that fucker down. And I'm going home with a full belly. and I'm not second guessing it. I'm not worrying about what other people are doing, what they think's making the market go up or down, what the volume profile said, what volume node they're looking at, what point of control, what VWAP, what fucking supply and demand zone, what Elliott wave count is. I don't give a fuck about none of that stuff. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not worried about anything else. I'm dialed in. I know exactly what I'm hunting. I got my eyes set on it, and I'm going to run it down. And I'm taking it home. That's not arrogance. That's not narcissism. That's absolutely defined as confidence, because I've been here enough times to know that what I'm doing works. I don't need to change it. I don't need to look at somebody else to help me make it better. I'm not looking at any retail logic because it's not even in there. I'm attacking that. I am an apex predator that is attacking the weakest form of trader in this industry at a time when they're making their actions known. Because whatever you can do with the least, if you have a measurable outcome that is more times than not delivered to you based on a model that you're working with, when you do that same procedure over and over again, just like a cookie cutter, you take it and you press it into the dough. Are you expecting a star-shaped cookie dough cutter to give you a shape of a circle or a square? No. It's designed to do one thing. You press it into the dough, you lift it up, there you have a piece of dough that's cut out in the form of a star. Wonderful. Are you trying to do something else outside of that? No. Your job is to find another place where you can find the dough, which is a trade setup, and you're going to press your cookie cutter, which is your mold, or your model rather, press it into that dough and pull it out, and you take home that star-shaped or whatever the shape of that cookie cutter is, whatever your model is, if it's the optimal trade entry, if it's the silver bullet, if it's, anything else. That's all you're there to do. And demanding it does anything more than that is foolishness. The results that you get from the least amount of leverage from that is irrelevant in the beginning, because you have to get to the point where you can replicate that over and over and over again, more times than not over the course of a month, over the course of a week. And taking that sample set and saying, okay, I have done this for a week, and this is the many transactions I've taken. This is how many that were profitable. This is how many times that were not profitable. This is how much I was able to yield as a net return. Over time, it'll become easier to do it. That's the goal. And you want it to be boring. You know, on Wednesday morning of next week, you're going to go out there and you're going to find 10 handles in the S&P. You know you're going to find 30 handles in the NASDAQ. I know that. I absolutely fucking know I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to be able to do that. I can do that. I know tonight when I lay my head down that my thought is not going to be swirling around. Am I going to be able to trade next week? Am I going to be able to pull anything off? Am I going to be able to find a setup? It's a given. It's absolutely given. I'm not worried about that. That is confidence that you cannot appreciate until you have it. And most traders don't have it. Even if they are profitable, they still say that the market's random. It is random if you're believing the bullshit you're trying to trade off of. All these things that you're subscribing to as a religion. Elliott wave, Wyckoff, it's this, it's jumping the creek, it's this, this wave count. Man, if I had a trade like that, I would not be able to sleep at night. That's too many variables where I'm trading on constants. I know where the liquidity is. I know where the inefficiencies are. I know what the economic counter is going to produce a injection of volatility at a specific date and time. I'm not clueless. I'm not confused. I know exactly when I'm going to step my ass in there and tap dance all over this shit and moonwalk my ass out the door with a bounty. I'm going to do that anytime I fucking want. And when you learn how to do it, you'll do the same thing. It's confidence that you cannot appreciate until you have it. In the hands of weaker men and ladies, you'll be a prick like I was on American Online when I finally got it. I was an asshole. You think I'm an asshole now. No, I was bragging. I was really bragging all the time. I'm just spitting facts right now, and I'm bringing receipts every single day. But you don't want to accept it because you can't do it yet. And you think it should have happened to you because you watched a few videos, or you scribbled some bullshit on a notepad or a napkin at work, and you think that you've been journaling. That's not a real attempt at doing it. You're half-assing it. And if you're half-assing it, don't be surprised when you get half-assed results. When you make it your business, that this is your career, you are learning how to operate and run a business. What is it? You Incorporated. You Incorporated. These people will try to tear you down all the time. And the more success you have, the more success that you share, there are more of them going to come at you. Are you going to live your life worrying about what they're going to say about you? Fuck these people. They are losers. The fact that they're spending their time talking about you, they're fucking showing you they're losers. Nobody that has success spends any time talking about somebody else. Nobody does. Nobody has time talking about that shit. You keep your business minded by you. You mind your own business. Nobody else is going to mind it. You do it. And you stay out of everybody else's business. You keep your head in the charts. You keep building, understanding yourself, where you make mistakes. Where do you fear? What do you get anxious about? What do you get too overzealous about prematurely, or overconfident? Because there's a real thing like that. Identify those things. They're going to help you prune that tree, that money tree that you're growing into a money tree. I'm a money making dynamo. I can walk out these fucking doors. I could lose everything. I could literally lose every fucking thing. And I could start with zero money in my fucking pocket. And in 12 months, be a multimillionaire again. Do you feel that confident about yourself? Because everything I talked about in this presentation today, it all leans on having one skill set. And that's hard. It's real hard if you don't know what you're doing and you're brand new, you have no experience, you've never been here before. Every little tiny fluctuation, one tick against your entry, feels like the beginning of a run on your stop. And that's not what it's like when you're thinking like I'm teaching you. I trust my model. If it goes to my stop, I placed my stop incorrectly, and I'm okay with that. I know the likelihood of my next trade is going to be just as well as the one I just entered. It's not diminishing. The efficacy of my models are not diminishing. They're constant. Your appreciation for those models and approaches are on the upslope. You're at the beginning of your journey, and I envy all of you. I envy all of you. I miss those moments of astonishment where I would see something and I'd like, okay, this is what it should do, and let's see what happens. And it delivers perfectly to the tick. And then you're looking around the room like, am I supposed to know this? Like you're expecting the black suits to show up in front of your house. A helicopter's landing in your backyard like, you're coming with us, you know? Those moments of astonishment are amazing. Those epiphanies, those moments where the veil is lifted and you see the market as it really is in binary form. You know, when Neo finally understands who he is and where he's at, he doesn't see the people in front of him throwing punches. It's just zeros and ones. And all he has to do is, this is what his response is going to be. And he knows what they're going to do before they do it. That's a macro. The idea is, in closing, you need to guard your mind. You need to do the very least in the beginning. Because if you can't get experience or growth or progress measured in any capacity with the least amount of exposure to risk, it matters not how much more risk you can accumulate. What's the difference is if you have 15 contracts on or if you have one micro lot on. If you're wrong about what you're trying to do in the marketplace, the market's going to show you. Do you need the maximum pain, the maximum expense, the maximum discomfort for you to appreciate that you're not following the model correctly? Because some of you, you're full of shit when you say, I got to learn how to trade with real money. That's the only way I can learn how to trade. No. What you're doing is you're saying that I'm a fucking idiot. Please beat me over the head with a stupid stick, because I don't know enough to know that I can do this without any harm to myself, without any financial risk, without any kind of hardships that's going to cause me to second guess my own ability because of the fear of being wrong associated with money. That's the reality. Books aren't going to teach you that way. Mentors aren't going to teach you that way. It's sugar-free, as it should be. You want it to taste sweet like honey. And sugar is a disease causer. The more you can cut sugar out of your diet, the best you're going to have in terms of health. The same way with trading. You want meat and potatoes, baby. Meat and fucking potatoes. That's it. You have to learn from that pain and then, okay, disconnect it. But because you're not experienced, you're neophyte, and you've now created toxic thinking because of rushing into a market move or day, like FOMC or non-farm payroll, you have poisoned your perception of how price is going to deliver. And I know some of you are thinking, damn, this guy nailed me, man. That's exactly what the fuck happened to me. And I never really understood it until now. Yes, I've done this to myself before. And it takes a lot of undoing to correct it. That means time. That's why I tell you these things. That's why I make the videos the way I do. That's why I talk to you the way I talk to you. Because I have lived this shit, folks. I've lived it. I know how hard it is to fix the problems. But some of you just simply want to do the shit and like, hey, you know, I don't want you to have the same kind of shit that I went through. Why would you want to do that? Don't you want to be the person that say, you know what? I listened to everything he said, avoided the shit he said to avoid, and I'm doing it better, and I don't have any issues. Man, that's what I want to hear. That's why I'm mentoring. I'm mentoring like that because I want to hear a student say that. I have not had one student do that yet. Hundreds of thousands of students, not one of them has come forward and said, you know what? You know, I listened to all your shit, and I don't want to go through that. I'm going to listen to the lessons that are going to be the most uncomfortable ones to listen to, because guess what? That's the stuff that's going to break me. You're that person, okay? It's not the market maker that's getting you. It's the person in the mirror. You've done your own ass. You did that. You're all doing something, all of you are doing something individually that's holding you back. I don't give a shit how well you're doing right now. You all are doing something that's having a negative impact on your growth. And that's why it's important that you journal. And you don't realize what those things are until you go back and look at what it is you're doing. You keep doing things over and over again, and they're having a negative response. The results are showing less than optimal. Mind that. Figure out what it is you're doing. Something doesn't feel right, and you're just bothered by it. That kind of stuff can materialize and manifest itself in your decision making in the marketplace, because you'll come to these marketplaces like a way of escaping, living a different life. And sometimes you can talk yourself into thinking you're James Bond, walk out here and find out, no, no, you're nothing like that, and you need a stretcher. So when you have these poor decisions to come in here and try to find a way of fixing yourself and feeling good, the worst thing you can do is try to do that on a day like today, because you're not going to fix yourself. Okay, you're not going to fix yourself on a day like this. It's going to do a lot of harm, more harm than you realize, and it's not going to be noticeable to you until you trade after this day. Like, you're not, even if you made money, the toxic aspects of this type of day, when you don't have proper experience doing all what it is I'm teaching you, these ideas will again manifest themselves in your typical bread and butter day. See, these are the reasons why I talk to you the way I talk to you like this, and you don't like it because it doesn't give you that puffed up feeling. But these are the ones that matter the most. These types of discussions, these lectures, these woodshed moments. These are the very things that I did my own ass with. Period. I did these things.
dozens of times, and it resulted in blown accounts, drawdown that took weeks to fix. I've done those things, folks, and honestly, you don't need to do it. You can do all these things that gets to the point of consistency and profitability and never experience these types of things. It's possible. I'm telling you, it's possible, but you don't want to listen. And it's frustrating to me as a mentor because, like, I'm not lying to you. I told you, like, dude, I've blown accounts before. I've lost money doing these types of things. Why would you want to try to do something like this? all these things are negative thoughts. So if you're taking up time and you're acknowledging that thought and giving it, your attention, how many times are you doing it in a day, inside of one day? Now imagine doing this while you're in a trade. Oh shit, that's heavy, ain't it? From the time you enter that trade, how many times are you thinking, this fucker's going to go against me? It's way off the scales. If you're in there for a length of time, you're thinking a lot. This is going to turn on me. This is going to fail. Oh, I better not take the partial there. Oh, I should have got in here. I should have done this. I should have done that. That's all negative thinking. So if you don't master yourself, this business is going to warp you. And you can have a profitable model, because y'all have it now. You can have something that has stats. You have it now. You have proof, people making real money all around the world, climbing to the top of FTMO leaderboards. You don't see anybody else. Just like I'm trying to create in you. You are your own fucking army. You're an army of one. You don't need me to be your fucking general. You don't need me to be your team fucking captain that tells you what you need to be doing today. You don't need that shit. You have no excuse. This stuff works. You have all the evidence now that it works. But you're trying to do things that's going to do what? Invite more negative thinking, toxic thinking. A model that works. It's very few rules to it. You have a specific time of day to look for the setups. That's trading. That is trading. Having rules, a process, and following it. And accepting the fact that sometimes you're going to do it wrong and lose money. Guess what? That's what everybody endures. You have to go through that. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of that experience of, I thought I did everything right, but I lost. See, you're trying to find the video where I cover how to avoid that. When the video I put out was handling drawdown and an inevitable loss or losing streaks, something to that effect. So I'm telling you, you're going to lose money. You're going to absolutely lose money. You're going to have losing trades. You're going to have everything in the chart indicate to you that it is likely to do a specific thing, and you're going to find the courage to push the button, and when it happens, it fails. What? Yeah, it fails. What's the it? You. You did it. Your decision was wrong. The concepts didn't fail. The market didn't do you wrong. You made a decision that was inaccurate. And you have to own that. And there is liberation when a trader comes to that mindset and says, you know what? I didn't do that right. But guess what? It doesn't change anything. It just means that I had to pay for that mistake. And that mistake gives me experience. And then when I make money in the next trade or the trades after this, and I come back from that drawdown, it will be an encouragement to me that all this was a skinned knee. I got a boo-boo. I got a paper cut. It didn't remove my head cleanly and lose my account or make it impossible for me to trade again.